Hey everyone, Roy here. Welcome back to the channel. The Kia now has 48,000 miles and I'm going to do that service. And over here we have oil pan, Mobil 1 Advanced Fuel Economy OW20 oil filter kit, cabin filter, and air filter. I also have this tarp that's supposed to be under the car, but somebody didn't weight it down under the car, only in front, so it blew right back up. So hold on while I fix that. All right, so you're gonna need a 10mm socket for the skid plate. You're going to need a 17mm for the oil plug. You're gonna need a 27mm for the housing that is around the oil filter. And you're going to need a number 8 hex key for the oil plug on the oil filter housing. And if you have one of these nifty little guys, this is just a torque adapter from Aldelco. Lets you set a digital torque preference and torque, which I like to torque the oil nut. Under the car, you're looking for the skid plate that has this oil icon on it. You're going to need to bolt here, here. Those are clips there and over there. Clip. And then over here is another bolt, another bolt, another bolt, another bolt. Take all those off, remove your plate. For removing the clips, any of these kind of tools will work. If you don't have any of these, just a plain screwdriver will also work. Just be really careful not to hurt the clip. I'm going to be testing this removal tool today. So this removal tool really does me no good because it's recessed and I can't get it in there to let it spread it, so we're gonna have to use one of the others. We're just gonna get in there, pry that like so, pull it out, squeeze your center pieces back in. As you can see, this one's actually been broken once before, so I might replace it. Once all the bolts are out, this plate comes down like so, and there's kind of a hook here to the side, and then that hook right there, and it pulls out. We can just set that aside, and then what we're looking for is this right here, our oil drain plug. Should be nice and dry like this if we did it right. You can see a new crush washer, which I have a kit of those. You can get them on Amazon. Your bolt, and then up over here we have the oil filter housing and its little drain plug, and it's got kind of a film on it, but it's not leaking or anything, so I'm not too worried about that. Alright, get your oil pan in place, make sure your air vent is open, loosen your bolt and drain the oil. So I already cracked it with the socket, so let's see if I can get this to focus. We're gonna get this, and I kind of push on the threads as I'm taking the bolt out to kind of seal the oil. Once we get to the last thread, just pull the bolt quick. Get the least amount on your fingers as possible. Now I do in fact have a package of the crush washers in my toolbox behind me. This is the old washer, bolt cleaned off while that's draining, filter, and then in this little baggie we have another crush washer, a new plug for the oil filter housing, and a new seal for the oil filter housing. So I'm going to go ahead and put the new crush washer on the bolt. I got it all cleaned up with my rag and get it ready to go back in. Alright, I don't know if you could see it, but one side of this washer kind of has a beveled edge and one kind of has a sharp edge. I would put the beveled edge toward the bolt. Somebody in the comments tell me if that's wrong or right. It's just the way I've always done it. Just always felt right to me, so that the sharper edge bites into whatever you're screwing this on. Alright, or threading it into. Basically done draining. As you can see, it's just a drip. So I'm going to take my rag, clean around it really good, and then get my bolt, oops, sorry, put it in, so let's stop. And always thread this in by hand. I'm doing this backwards, so it's a little bit tougher. There we go. Oop, maybe not. Clean that again, stand by. All right, so let's try this again. We're gonna go. There, we got it. All right, grab our rag. Probably could have waited to clean it till the bolt was on, but I like having it clean under where that washer's gonna go. Torque spec for this bolt is 25 to 30 foot-pounds. I have this set to 28. It's not gonna read till we get 25. There's 26, we're really close. You can see it started beeping. There's 28. Now I do believe somebody in the comments said not to pull that bolt, to just loosen the housing. So we're gonna try that. Bear with me here. I believe he said it makes less of a mess if you just pull this housing off, and I'm guessing the reason why it leaked a little bit is probably because I had her too tight and that gasket bound up just a little bit. So alright, I got it. Hand loose, I believe. Let's see how this does. Gonna get a better hold on it. Oh, it's starting to leak, so never mind, guy in the comments. This is way worse. Whew. Yep. Alright, well, I would suggest pulling the little drain hole. While that's draining or dripping, it's almost done. We'll work on this. So this just pops right off. If I can do it one-handed, I'll see. Yep. Just a quick pop and it pops off. Set that over there for now. Now somebody else in the comment was asking me about the washer in here. There's this little lip, as you can see. That, you just got to get it back in with that lip up. That's really all that's important. So you're going to pull this one out, put this new one on. So you reach in there, grab that little lip, give her a tug, and you can see that ring comes right out. Right over there. Grab the new one. My fingers are already oily, so I'm just going to give it a little oil, and you can see this tab. Just have that up and go in there like so. Kind of walk it in. There it is. And then your new filter. Alright. I've been having where it says air guard be out. I don't know if that's the right way or if it even matters. I kind of think that it really doesn't matter, but, and it's just a push back on there till you hear a click. Hear that? And then it's solid. And then it's ready to go back in. It's not ready to go back in. We need to swap this guy out. So I got my rag on there to kind of minimize the oil. And we're going to swap this plug out. So it looks like the last kit had kind of a red rubber on there. I'm going to pull this plug out. And discard that right in the box this came in. I already pulled the new one out. It's right here. Get this one started good. And then I'll tighten her up with the wrench till it's, you know, nice and sealed, and that seal goes away. Now you can over tighten this and strip it out, so don't go crazy, just a little snug. If you have something that can read, you know, 4.1 Newton meters, sure. And see how that says really 25.5 Newton meters. Yeah, that's pretty low. Alright, so 34 Newton meters is 25 foot-pounds, which 34 is a bit higher than this. But that's what I set this to, and if I hear it beep once, then I'm a little bit as tight or as I should go, which I tend to over tighten things if I'm not measuring. So I'm going to try to measure this time because I think it was over tight, which is making it just seep just a little bit. Wasn't enough to really lose oil over the time, you know, the interval, but was enough to just seep just a little bit. I got this ready to go back in there. Line it up. And I did use just a little engine degreaser on the outside of this, just to make myself feel a little better. Alright, let's see here. Turn this guy on. And it didn't even beep, but it's good and snug, so I am not going to go anymore. I felt it kind of slip maybe 3 or 4 times, and I'm not going to over tighten it because that'll cause her to leak. I'm mid this way into the project, and my wife comes down and says, I came down to give you a hug, but I'm not really hug material, a little dirty. So she proceeded to just lift up my shirt and give me a hug anyways, to assert her alpha wife status right here in the neighborhood in front of all the neighbors. So if you happen to have a wife that'll do that kind of thing for you, well, just count yourself lucky. So with the oil filter housing re-secured, the oil bolt re-secured, it's time to get your skid plate, put it back into place. First thing is this front, and then this side. Alright, and then it kind of hangs here from there, and I had one bolt that kind of stuck back here. So we're going to start with him. On these bolts, the 3 back here, there's a lot of clearance back there before anything would get hit or touched. So I typically put the 3 longer bolts back here and the 3 shorter bolts here, here, and over here. Okay? And now it's time for these guys. So you're going to want to pull it apart, squeeze these together, and with it kind of pulled apart, you want to push it up to where the base is all the way there, and then push the center back in, because it's securing both of these pieces of plastic. All right, so put those 3 back in, and you're ready to add fluid. Dusty here in Arizona. I'm probably gonna take the leaf blower and give her a good huff and puff, get some of this dust out. But engine oil here, good old W20 020. I know that the oil capacity of this car just so happens to be 6.13 quarts. So I'm going to go ahead, I already pulled the seal on this. I'm going to dump all 5 quarts right on in. And I've got my pop bottle funnel there. It's just a top of a 2-liter bottle. Works pretty darn well, if I do say so myself. Just get all that good stuff in there. Alright, so there's 5 quarts. This is where you start the engine and get the oil pressure up and everything flowing where it should. So I'm going to start it up and back it off the ramps. Put your cap back on before you start her up. You don't want to be making a big mess, okay? First start after an oil change, it's always good to kind of listen to the engine, listen to how it sounds with that new oil circulating, and then when it calms down. Almost hear like a little bit of a knock for a second, and it goes away, calms down. See if I can turn my AC off. Alright, there it is. It kind of, the fan went up a little and then back down. I'm going to close the door so it'll let me put it in reverse. Yes, I know the hood's up. And we're just gonna back down off the ramps. Okay, and it's been running about long enough. Put it in park, listen to the engine a little bit again, give it a second. Now we can check the oil and add the rest. So I don't know if you can see it, but this one's just under 4, so I'm going to want it to be just under 3. Alright, so that is about 3. See, it's about not quite halfway up. I want just a little bit more than half. You never want to go all the way to the top, because then you'll start throwing oil out where you don't want to throw it, like up your air filter and other fun places. You can see that that's just under 3 on that container, and it's just a little above half. About perfect. Could go maybe a notch or 2 higher, but not much. And I did take the leaf blower and get that layer of dust off, and with the engine oil where it should be, next we're going to focus on the coolant. And if you can see, it's sitting at the min mark, and I want it up here at the max. And what you got to do is use some distilled water. Now normally you do not want the parent's choice. You do not want to get distilled water from the baby section. You want to go to the drink section in Walmart and get the actual distilled water there, because there is another parent's choice distilled water that actually has minerals in it, which kind of defeats the purpose of distilled water for mechanical purposes. You don't want the minerals. But if you look at this one, ingredients is just distilled water, so this one's okay. But as a general rule, go to the drink section and get the distilled water there, because it is just distilled water. Alright, so shouldn't be hot because it just idled to up here and back. Do not do this when the car is hot, as it says you could burn you. So there you see it's not hot, and we're just gonna, doesn't take much to get that level to come up. Just get it up to right there. Alright, see how you can see the pink line went up a little. Now I live in Arizona. Anytime you have a vehicle in Arizona, you do not want to skimp on anything that has to do with coolant. Make sure you keep that topped off. Next is our engine air filter. And I kind of staged this one already for you guys, but these are the locking mechanisms. Right here, when they're in this position, that's unlocked. And you slide them down to lock. It's just a rod that goes along there, so look at it. If yours got popped out, you need to pop it back in. Pay attention to the seal all the way around. Don't let it get gummed up. It's pretty simple. Just open this container here. And I lied. Looks like up is actually locked, so down. And then pull the old one out. And as you can see, mine is dirty. And what's kind of fun with air filters, do that number. Now it's not very clean concrete, so you can't really see, but there we go. As you can see, it's dirty. So if I was being cheap, I'd maybe take my air blower and blow this guy out, stick it back in, get another oil change out of it, but I bought one, so I don't need to do that. Alright, so now that we know that's the lock position, we're going to put these down, okay? And then just careful, just kind of work it in there. Like I said, you don't want to hurt those gaskets. And then this one up to the lock. Wiggle it a little. Well, I might have to pull it out and see what's going on with that one. That one's not locking. I don't know why. It just needs to go down. Okay. So that's unlocked. Alright, try this again. Okay, there it is. Seal that, make sure it's good and tight. And there's the engine air filter. Okay, next is going to be the cabin filter. Now, if you do not want to mess on the floor, empty your jockey box first. Come over here to the side. Pinch that together and pull this release tab. Okay, and then you kind of push the sides in. Pull it down. Okay, and it kind of comes down out of the way. All right. Next, you pinch this, pull that opens up, and then you can pull this out. Okay. Pay attention to the way that your one is in there and which way airflow is. See how those arrows are pointing down? It's your new filter. I didn't stage this one, so hold on. All right, this one's staged. Arrows down, arrows down. Reach in and just pull this one out. Okay. As you can see, dirty. We've had a few haboob dust storms lately. And here's a comparison. Don't want to be breathing that. All right. So change this one, it says to. Okay. And just kind of be gentle with it because it's a delicate filter. I don't know if you could see me kind of working it, but I had to kind of wiggle it just a little bit. But be really gentle. Handle it with kid gloves. Okay. And oop, get that lip in there. Make sure that's good and latched. Okay. And then that just pushes back up. Grab this arm. Probably should have grabbed the arm first, but pull this arm down. Reattach it like so. Alright, and then you may refill the contents of your jockey box or pick it up off the floor. Okay, last but definitely not least, resetting the engine oil life. So, quick swipe to the right, go to setup. See if I can do this by memory. Go to vehicle. Go to the cluster. Alright. And service interval. And engine oil change reminder. Reset. Yes, the engine oil has been changed. I am a non-certified technician that has kept this car running for 48,000 miles. I'm going to say we're good. Yes. Resetting. Engine oil life has been reset. 100% remaining. Home, and we are done. And as you can see, 48,315. So I went in teensy bit. Sorry about that, but you know, life happens. And I think I might have went a tiny itty bit over last time too. So should still be covered under warranty. All good. And hey, Roy here. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe. Share it to your buddy who's too scared to change his own oil on his Kia, and tell him it's not that big a deal. If this bald-head, red-bearded guy can do it, so can you. Again, I'm not a mechanic. It's not what I do for a living. It's just something I do. I'm showing you what I do. Follow along and do what I do at your own risk. Thank you.